Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
The song that you are currently listening to is called Tullahoma Turnaround. It's the first single of 3 released by Good For Nothin' Thunder Mountain Boys in the In the Green collection, along with Rollin' Home With You and the title track In the Green. You can find all 3 singles wherever you get your music. The band will be performing very soon at Howlin' Wind Brewing and Blending. Learn more about that show by staying tuned for this episode of Music of the Mountains. You can keep up with the band on Facebook and follow them on Instagram at Good For Nothin', Nothin, Thunder MTN Boys. Hello there, everybody. My name is Jamie Lammers, and welcome to Music of the Mountains, where to be and what to see, brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. I've got a great guest for you today. Before we promote today's show, though, if you haven't subscribed to the Mountaineer yet and you want to support local news from peak to peak, be sure to head to the mtnear.com and click on the subscribe button in the top right corner of our homepage. From there, you'll get full access to our digital archives and scanned copies of our physical newspaper. And you can choose to send a physical subscription to your mailbox or to the mailbox of someone that you love. If you're interested in being involved in the newspaper and or the podcast in any way, be sure to email our editor-in-chief, Barbara Hart, at info@themountaineer.com, myself at media@themountaineer.com, and or frontdesk@themountaineer.com to learn what options are available. You can also head to the mtner.com/advertise to see what advertising packages are available, or call 303-810-5409 to directly talk to one of the staff members. This episode is brought to you by the Sugarloaf Craft Fair, with presenting sponsors Indian Peaks Real Estate Services, Fred's Propane Service, and Ava Networks, modern internet for the Sugarloaf community. This event is a benefit for the Sugarloaf Fire Department that will be taking place on Saturday, November 1st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 1360 Sugarloaf Road, Fire Station 2. Be sure to head there for fine handmade crafts, home-baked goods, and a silent auction to support the local fire department. And finally, our top story today, brought to you by Brittany Wagner.
Our top story today comes from Christopher Kelly. Visitors peep art on Nederland streets. Leaf peepers crowded the streets over the weekend of Saturday, September 20th to Sunday, September 21st, checking out Nederland businesses and packing into area restaurants looking for something more than yellow leaves to ogle. Luckily, the Mountaineers' Peak to Peak studio tour was on full display as the streets and sidewalks of Nederland exploded with color as local artists and craftspeople highlighted their incredible talent. It was also the Netter Days of Art event, sponsored by the Nederland Downtown Development Authority and organized by the Nederland Public Art Committee. Both events put artists on display inside and outside of local businesses from all over the Caribou Village Shopping Center to all the way down East 1st Street. To read the full story, check out this week's Mountaineer or go to themountaineer.com.
Thank you so much, Brittany, for our top story today. And now, let's get into the Music of the Mountains interview for today. Our guest this time around, do you mind introducing yourself real quick?
Yeah, man, this is Tyler Ballantyne. I'm from upstate New York. little town called Clifton Park, close to Saratoga. Been living in Denver for 7 years and playing music since then, and that's kind of what's going on, man.
And I hear that your group, Good for Nothin' Thunder Mountain Boys, is coming to Howlin' Wind Brewing and Blending very soon.
That is correct. Howlin' Wind is probably my favorite brewery going right now, and always love coming up to Rollinsville and Ned and that area. And yeah, the folks at Howlin' Wind are so cool, and people love music there, and the beer's amazing, so it's kind of just a great place to play every time.
So Tyler, how did you get started in music in the first place?
Yeah, totally, man. Always loved music and everything, but never really played too much until I got to college. I was really big into Dave Matthews at the time and was just obsessed with Dave's right hand for some reason. The way he played rhythm guitar was so interesting to me. So I bought a guitar, probably learned like half of one of his songs, and that's maybe it. And strummed the guitar just a little bit. Could play like Country Roads and Ring of Fire and stuff, and didn't really take it too seriously. But I think when I got out to Colorado, I was really falling in love with bluegrass music and folk and basically all the American genres. And I think COVID happened. And a few months into COVID, I kind of just decided that I would start taking it seriously and pretty much committed there to being a guitar player, musician. And I was head over heels obsessed with bluegrass at that time. Saw Billy Strings and I'm a big Phish and Grateful Dead fan too, so kind of was always exposed to, really good music. So COVID happened. A few months into COVID, I kind of just decided I was going to start picking and got a big D18 and signed up for lessons with Bryan Sutton. And here we are 5 years later, and it's starting to take off and get pretty good. So loving where I'm at and excited to be on this journey.
And how did Good for Nothin' Thunder Mountain Boys begin as a band?
Yeah, so this, I would say, well, when I moved into Denver, I moved in with a buddy, Eric Hill, who's the guitar player from Magoo now. So we would kind of play music then at the old home place, we call it. And I think we were on a hike on Mount Huron up by Buena Vista. And I kind of pitched to Eric. I was like, Eric, there's so many people who play music at bars and breweries and everything. And no offense to them, but they're not that great. I mean, I feel like we could do that. So formed there a little bit and we started playing some duo shows together at Over Yonder Brewing. Rest in peace. Love that place. And after doing that for a little bit, I don't know how long, we found Dylan Flynn and Paul Flynn, and they joined our band, and that's where we started. That's where we became like a legitimate band, I think. And it was the four of us playing pretty progressive bluegrass music and jamming. After doing that for a couple years, they split off to join Magoo. Paul's over in Southeast Asia doing whatever Paul does. And so the band kind of took a little bit of a turn there, and now it's kind of wide open. We got a full rock and roll country jam band thing we're doing, but also love playing bluegrass still. So we got a little bit of flexibility with what we do and a little bit of a rotating cast depending on the gig that we're playing, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
So how do you guys split your sets with originals and covers? Do you perform originals more or covers more or a mix of both?
Yeah, totally. I mean, starting with bluegrass, it was pretty much all covers to start. And as of right now, I probably have like 6 originals that we play, and I'm trying to write quite a bit here to get that number up. Ultimately, it'd be really cool to play sets mostly based around originals. So I'm definitely on that path of writing and trying to build that up. But number one, I want to have fun playing music and I want to play really good songs. So I'm not in a rush to get all the originals in. Just kind of want to have an entertaining show and make sure we're playing good stuff. And some of the originals I'm pretty proud of now and they're pretty fun to play. And so we're building that up for sure. But yeah, probably like 6 right now.
So what keeps you coming back to the songwriting process and what inspired you most when you started it?
Yeah, it was kind of just the next thing to do. I mean, I think it's a little bit of a problem in bluegrass. Well, I guess I wouldn't call it a problem, but it's the genre itself. There's just so many standards and so many good songs already and so many fiddle tunes that it's pretty easy to just play those your whole life and not really add a creative side to it, such as writing your own songs. And got some friends who definitely do that, are more in the songwriting crowd, and kind of just thought it was time at a certain point. And yeah, like as far as the songwriting process goes, I'm really enjoying it. Sort of starts off with maybe just like an idea, a simple idea or one line of a chorus, and then just without any pressure, just try to like write a full song. And most of the time it's absolutely horrible to start, but I don't put any pressure on it. I don't judge it. I just kind of have a full song written out. And from there, that's when I kind of go back in and read it over and adjust some lines, change some things around. And I'm looking at my legal notebook right now. It's got like 10 different drafts of some songs, and you just sort of, keep hatching away at it and trying to get something into a believable song that's pretty good. And it takes a lot of work and everything, but it's pretty fun to craft and do. And like I said, when you get a finished song that ends up being pretty good, it's a pretty cool feeling, man. So it's all pretty exciting here.
Is there anything that you particularly love about being able to perform music, particularly with this group?
Yeah, totally. Ideally, the music that I love to play the most is just hanging with my buddies and playing with my friends and everything. And I'm pretty lucky that a lot of my friends are also really talented musicians. So like even before performing, I just like playing with my buddies. And a lot of times I would almost prefer that, either hanging at one of our houses and picking and going to the park and just playing with my friends. And it's really cool playing these breweries too, because we get to go hang out and we get some free beer and get to play music that we love. So that's really cool. But then when it comes to like the performing, I've definitely been noticing this with our rock and roll version of the band. Man, it's just so fun to get people dancing out in front of you and make sure people are having a good time. And we played some really fun shows this summer where, we had pretty crazy crowds that were dancing and having a blast right in front of us. And when they're giving us that energy and we're freaking ripping on our instruments and going back and forth and everybody's just having a great time, that's pretty damn incredible to do that. And the one that stands out from this summer, we got to play at the Gold Hill back in July, and that was just the coolest gig. I don't think it's ever going to be topped. Gold Hill is probably the coolest place to play. There was like 150 people packed in there, total classic place, and everybody's raging to the music, which is just really fun to be a part of there. So yeah, having a blast.
Is there anything that you hope audience members will be able to take away from your shows when they come to see the band?
No, man, just have a good time. That's kind of what we're here for, I don't know, life is short and we're not necessarily living in heaven, I don't think. As far as I know, it could be pretty tough out there for some people and everything. So like when people come out, we just want to put smiles on people's faces and crack jokes and have a good time and send everybody home pretty happy and maybe with a nice buzz too.
And are there any other musical projects or other performances that you want to shout out before we sign off?
Yeah, so we got this one at Howlin' Wind on 10/25, and we're going to do straight bluegrass for that one. We're going to play into condenser mics, I think, and we're going to play pretty much some mountain bluegrass, which we're very excited about. Got a great band for that. And then after that, we are playing December 5th at Cervantes, and we are doing that with the full rock and roll band I referenced earlier. We got a killer band for that one. We got Cortland from Magoo. He's going to be playing electric guitar. Andy Reiner will be joining us on the fiddle as well, and they're both local to Rollinsville right there. And man, those guys can freaking play. So very stoked to play with them. And yeah, we got a drummer, and it's going to be freaking fun, man. So December 5th, opening up for Great American Taxi and Sam Morrow. The Good for Nothing Thunder Mountain Boys. Cervantes on the other side.
And yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add in general.
Sweet, man. I don't think I have anything else. Just everybody do good work, brush your teeth in the morning and at night, make sure you're flossing, stay out of the left lane unless you're passing. That's a big one. And just be kind to everybody, man.
In that case, I really appreciate you taking the time to jump on, and I'm excited to promote your Howlin' Wind show.
Like I said, Howlin' Wind is one of the coolest breweries in Colorado and probably the whole world, I guess. So come on out and hang out for a good night of music. Thanks a lot, and thanks for promoting it, and let's keep picking.
Thank you so much, Tyler, for coming on board and joining us for the podcast. Good for Nothing Thunder Mountain Boys will be performing at Howlin' Wind Brewing and Blending, located at 51A Main Street in Rollinsville, on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, starting at 5 p.m. You can keep up with the band by following their Facebook page, finding their Instagram at Good for Nothing Thunder MTN Boys, and find their EP In the Green wherever you get your music. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this week's Music of the Mountains, Where to Be and What to See, brought to you by the Mountaineer Podcast. I'll be back very soon with another episode. In the meantime, if you want to share this episode or others around with whoever you see fit, then be sure to head to the mtnear.com and scroll down to the Mountaineer Media section of our homepage, or head to our podcast's main hub at the mtnearpodcast.buzzsprout.com. Again, if you're interested in being involved in the newspaper or the podcast in any way, be sure to contact info@themountaineer.com, media@themountaineer.com, and or front desk at themountaineer.com, or call 303-810-5409. And finally, if you want to find us on social media, be sure to scroll down to the Mountaineer Media section, where you can find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts, our Facebook page, and our YouTube. And follow us on Instagram by heading to @mtn.ear. While you're on our website, be sure to submit to our events calendar, where you can promote any local events coming up in your venue or the community. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day.
Well, I walked into the woods, I got lost because I could. Well, I'm losing track of the hours of the day. When this world drags you down, turn your troubles all around. When you listen to the whisper of the breeze, you'll find me somewhere in the trees.
The song that you are currently listening to is called In the Green, and it's the title track of the 3-single collection recently released by Good for Nothin' Thunder Mountain Boys, along with Tullahoma Turnaround and Rollin' Home with You. You can stream these 3 songs wherever you get your music, and you can learn more about Good for Nothin' Thunder Mountain Boys by following them on Facebook and their Instagram page at Good for Nothin' Thunder MTN Boys. The band will be performing at Howlin' Wind Brewing and Blending, located at 51A Main Street in Rollinsville, so be sure to see them performing live on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, starting at 5 p.m.
When the sun shimmers through and the leaves shed the dew, through the scattered light and shadows from the sky, well, the streams they roll on by, 'cause the mountains they did cry, and their teardrops flow out through the green. You'll find me somewhere in the trees, dancing with the leaves.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak-to-Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.